I call Alec Rowley, please.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The problem is that it is looking like it's take it or leave it, and that would not be acceptable, and it would be a failure to stand up for the rights of this Parliament and for the people of Scotland to simply take it on the instruction of Boris Johnson. I would have thought that one bit of certainty that the whole country would want at this time would be that our NHS will never be on the table of any trade negotiation. But the Tories, with their majority in Westminster, have ensured that there is no safety net for our NHS when it comes to future trade deals. This is not right, and there are many aspects of this white paper that are not right. We need to see what the legislation brings forward, but can I ask the Cabinet Secretary, do you agree that we must establish the principle that where we are dealing with devolved areas that require a common framework to be put in place, then that common framework must be agreed by the administrations of the UK coming to the table as equals? And does he agree that the best way to protect the internal market is by the collaboration and cooperation of all nations?
Cabinet Secretary.
I agree, Presiding Officer. I think Alec Rowley has two very significant points there. The first one is that the negotiations on the frameworks continue. And it would be perfectly possible in that favourite word of the Tories to intensify those negotiations to complete that task before the end of the year. And there will be no difficulty in so doing. The number of common frameworks which we agreed that we would need was 24. There is a difference about state aids, but we could get all that work finished. And indeed, I know that that is the Welsh Government's view as well, that we could do that job. And we will be part of that. What we won't be part of, what we won't allow to happen, is the power grab. There's a second point the member makes about public services, which I just want to dwell on for 1 second. Martin Callanan, Lord Callanan, in the House of Lords yesterday, answering a question from Dafydd Wigley, gave the game away on this. Because when he was asked if there was any dispute resolution procedure within these proposals, he said, no, we have a fine court system. I presume he was referring to the English court system. I'm not sure he knew there was a Scottish court system. There's a fine court system and it can have its place. What that does is it opens the door to any company, particularly coming into the country after a trade deal, to say about public services, Scottish public services, no, that's not fair. We are allowed to compete for these because we're allowed to compete for them south of the border, and therefore we will insist upon that in Scotland. So the courts will be used, unfortunately, by such unscrupulous companies to undermine Scottish public services. And why? Because the Tories are going to allow it to happen. Indeed, they're going to encourage it to happen.
Thank you.